Welcome to the Black on Shelf podcast, a podcast championing Black and brown entrepreneurs on the digital and physical shelves. I'm your host, Tanaj Ferguson. This is Black on Shelf. Welcome back to Black on Shelf. I have a special guest for everybody. This is Bianca Rush, founder of Sassy Hair Caps. So we're going to get all the way into it. Welcome, Bianca.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone.
Yes, we're so excited. Bianca is the boss lady in charge of Sassy Hair Caps. And for those that are not yet familiar, I know many of you are familiar and will be supporting, but for those that don't, Sassy Caps is all about being a hair and length inclusive satin caps brand for all textures and all hair curl patterns. She's going to tell us exactly why she created this, but once you find out, you will discover you probably need this too if you don't have it yet. So just saying, we're going to get all the way into it. And I just love Bianca's story. I think so many of us could learn from it. This community is all about entrepreneurship and being inspired to do something different. That's exactly what Bianca did. And she took it a step further. So we're going to find out about all these efforts that she's doing in business to manifest this for herself, as well as to bring others up along the way. So we love these types of stories here at Black on Shelf. Welcome again, Bianca.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, talk to us about your background. Who are you? Where are you from? Where did you go to school? What did you want to be? Tell us everything about you.
Okay. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, in the South, definitely a Southern belle.
Yes.
I went to college, actually, University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't even in marketing or anything like beauty during that time. I was definitely a tech girl. So I found my way over to the public accounting firm in Atlanta and also focusing on technology and accounting. And then while I was there, that's where I discovered I had a love for beauty. Very specifically, I had a love for hair. Didn't even know it.
Wow.
I had a love for hair. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I actually got into entrepreneurship while I was working full-time in corporate. One of the things that I really realized was I kind of was tired of my check being the same. No matter how much extra work I put in, no matter if I came in early or stayed late, my actual payment was looking the same. And I knew that the goals that I wanted to hit financially, I wasn't going to meet those goals just focusing on a full-time, employment. So for me, when I got started and dabbled into entrepreneurship, it was really the desire of I wanted more financial freedom, but I needed it faster than what I was going to get, if I grew in my career. Mm-hmm. Yes. So from there, I actually the Sassy Hair Cap came out of a need of when I actually started selling hair extensions. That was really my basis, was hair extensions. Yeah.
All right. So let's pause here to make sure we understand. So we've got smart tech girl. She's in public accounting, working for the firm, realizes I'm in this finance tech accounting environment, but I'm not making all the money that I thought I would, or that's possible for me. And you think about, okay, I need to do something on the side. So you start selling hair while you're working.
Yep. While I was working.
So that hair business is something that brings you another stream of income. And that's sort of your first foray into entrepreneurship.
Yes, that was exactly. And that was my first little taste into the beauty industry, was through the hair industry.
So what made you choose hair as the product? You could have sold water bottles, anything. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so funny. I actually was a natural girl my whole life. Even high school, college, never wore extensions of anything. And actually, I just saw an episode of BET, and it was Toya, right? Okay. And her hair looked always so good. And this was before Instagram days, so Twitter was kind of the wave. Mm-hmm. And she actually shouted out where she got her hair from. And it was in Atlanta, and I went there. And I just saw women buying product out of every little direction. And I was like, I need to get into this. Mm-hmm. But I had no clue how to get into it. I had no clue about hair extensions. So I really had to figure it out. And that's how my journey into hair started, was out of seeing someone else's hair done, seeing a lot of women come into a hair store and purchase without asking questions. Mm-hmm. And I realized I could do this. It's just really me believing in myself, even though I had no experience. And then that led my way into hair industry. And then that actually is what birthed Sassy Hair Cap, was from me selling hair extensions and having no way to take care of them. So I invented a way to take care of them.
I love that. I love that. So for those like I love the beginning of your journey. You had this vision. You're going to be ambitious no matter what, because you were already in a great career. Everyone could say that was going to be a great career trajectory for you, but you did want more. You wanted something different. Talk to me about how you were feeling in that role and sort of what was speaking to you at the time to make you feel like it wasn't about maybe getting a promotion or going someplace else. Talk to me about like what was really pulling you to say, this was something I should do, like something in and of myself versus anything in corporate, because you could have taken another job or say, I'm going to work my tail off for the promotion. There was something in you that made you say, no, this direction long-term is going to be better for me. And you were also the type of person, but talk to me about what was going on in your head during that time. I know others can relate.
Yeah, I really was thinking in my head that financially I wasn't going to meet. I had a number in my head. I always had a number. So I'll even talk, when I was little, I knew exactly what I wanted to do as far as financial money. Like money was never a conversation my family avoided. It was always a topic that we talked about. So having that number in my head as a fifth grader, I knew that I never left that out of my head. So I knew by a certain age, I wanted to earn this much money. And I literally just did the numbers in my head. Like, I'm not going to make it to that goal until 15, 20 years from now. And I'm looking at my age and I'm looking at the things that I wanted to do by a certain age. And I wouldn't honestly be able to do it based off of my pay grade, pay scale. We were in a recession at the time. So I was even blessed to have a job because people were losing their jobs. This was 2008, 2009. So I just really realized in me, if I wanted to hit the financial goal that I wanted, I had to find something else. And then when I saw hair, it just seemed to me the most logical sense, because I felt as though, okay, this world is going a little crazy right now, but these women are like, I need what I need. And also I was like, well, I like getting my hair done. I just don't get extensions. And I just felt like it was, one, recession proof, two, the money was there, and three, I just really believed that I could do it. Like I felt like I had enough friends that we could figure it out collectively. And that's what kept me going.
No, that's big. And it's interesting you mentioned that in your family, you all talked about money a lot. So in the Black family in general, it varies, right? Some folks feel like they have learned a lot from their family circumstances, and others, the reason they are where they are is because of those same circumstances. Talk to me about what made your family unique in really being transparent and clear about talking about money with each other.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So my father, very much country guy, country boy, but they did not have much. So given that he came from a very, I like to say, very humbled beginnings, he always knew that if he was able to be successful for himself, he was always going to share kind of the importance of a dollar to his kids. And then my mother, my father and my mother are married. She absolutely had the same respect for money as well. So, I saw how hard they were working. They made sure that we knew that money didn't grow on trees and it wasn't free. And within that, they just told us the power of saving and investing your money. My father was active in the stock market. I was 8 years old watching the stock market with him. A little girl looking up to her father, he says the sky is green and you look up and it's orange, but you're going to believe him because you're like, okay, that's my dad. It is. Yeah, I'm right with you. So I just believed his word when he talked about money, and I just studied him. So if he was watching the stock market, I was watching stock market. I honestly probably should have stayed there. I could have been a really good, stock market person. You started at 8 learning everything, but I just always had a healthy relationship with money. And I knew I always wanted to be a certain place, and I couldn't get there, actively spending and not saving or not investing in the correct things. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, I really do love that. One of the other things about your story is that you saw a pain point that you had for yourself. One, you saw the market response, right? You watched consumers in the store, and that really triggered you to say, I can do this. And you further, continue to watch and listen to your consumer And you had this personal experience too that said, oh my gosh, I'm not really able to use my existing cap, my existing satin bonnet does not allow me to wear it when I have braids versus when I have a puff versus when I have really long hair. And you're like, I don't need to be buying 6 different sizes, lengths.
Right.
And that's kind of what we all did until your product existed. We bought different ones and had to make it work. But you saw that and said, I'm going to make this. So you have this activated sense that sees a problem and goes and fixes it. Do you see that play out in other areas of your life?
I do. I think I'm very proactive in my life. I'm a reflective person. So I try to think about things before I actually do them. But once I make up my mind is made. So I go and do it. But you are exactly correct. Like I didn't see anything in stores online that was for women or men whose hair grew down instead of out.
Yes.
Or both. So typically what we see in most satin caps and most bonnets is what we would see of a standard shower cap. You know, it's really an outward type of feature instead of something that was down. And I knew that me, not only as a Black woman, but I like to wear longer styles. Sometimes in the summers, I want to have blonde braids. And how can I feel as though I can protect my braids and keep them very nice and polished without feeling like they're going to frizz up because I don't have anything to place over it. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't find anything like that. And just like you said, I invented it.
You invented it. Yeah. I love that. So for those who find themselves in this unique position that you are in, for whatever problem that they're experiencing around them, what would you say are things that you would do next? You see the problem, you have an idea for that. What are some things that you would do to ask yourself that you can talk to the boss fam about to say, hey, put it through some of these questions or considerations? What are some things that come to mind to help someone navigate, see the problem, I have a solution, what should I be thinking about next?
Yeah, definitely. So you see a problem, see a solution. I would say first check to make sure you've done all of your homework to know that the solution doesn't already exist. So sometimes, marketing isn't everyone's forte. They're not as great at it, but they're doing a little bit. They're having a little traction. So I would suggest doing your homework to see, one, is it already done, but we just haven't searched hard enough? 2, is there an actual significant customer base? So you might see a problem, but how lucrative as far as a financial gain can you earn from it? Is it a big opportunity, or is it only a small subset of people who face that problem? So honestly, you wouldn't see the result that you really want. So is the actual audience for that really big? And then 3, what's the cost to start? If you want to solve this problem, what all do you need to get into in order to make it happen? Is it something that you can self-fund and jumpstart? Do you need to do like some form of a fundraise or a crowdfund where you ask family, friends, community to support you and your idea so you can make it happen to fruition? And also, I would say, is it something manageable? Do you have to find a team? Can you do it by yourself, or do you actually have to, oh, wow, I actually need someone that has this type of experience? And if you do, is this something that you can bring them in on some equity where you don't have to pay them directly, but you'll give them ownership in the company as it grows? Or is it something that you can afford to pay someone for their time? Because we obviously know we got, you want to pay people for their time out of respect for their gifts. So those are just the first things that I would evaluate: is how big is the need? Does it truly not exist? Is it really an open opportunity where you can have the entire freeway of that problem? Do you need to hire somebody to make it happen, or can you self-fund? And I had one more. I kind of forgot that last one, but those are the things that we're going to
scale. Your last one was scale. Like, is it going to be? Are you going to run it by yourself, or are you going to have a team?
Yeah. Are you gonna, how are you going to do like the running of everything? Is it something that you can work full time and still get the commitment? That was something that I was grateful to be able to do. I didn't have to quit my job to do it. But I know that isn't the case for everybody.
Yeah. So I know you hinted at it. You started to share a little bit about what some of that process looked like for you, but what was some of the initial, we'll just go through it. What was some of the initial places or touch points you went to say, okay, is this a viable market opportunity? What was what did that look like for you to really understand what that opportunity was?
Just going to the hair salon. So I get my hair done very often. And I was just always curious on how women or men maintain their style after the salon. So I know for myself,
Yeah.
I look amazing coming out of the salon.
Yes.
But it's always that day 3 where I'm like, I don't look like I went to the salon, in between gym and life. It's just like, how can I make my style sustain longer where I don't have to curl it as much? Like that's how I had to learn to curl my hair, was the fact that I wanted to keep my hair up, but I just couldn't just keep paying and keep going to the hair salon every 5 days.
Right.
So just going to the salon was one of the things that made me think about all these people have to maintain their hair. And if you can't maintain your hair, then what does that mean for you? That means you're probably putting more heat on your natural hair or more heat on your extensions or style or product. And then what does that lead to? So I always thought deeper than just the general surface level problem. It's just like, so what does that mean? And that was always a question for me. It's like, and I challenge you all to think like that too. What does that really mean? What's the root core of that? If you can't maintain your hair, then you're going to put more heat on it. You're going to put more product on it. That leads to hair breakage. That leads to hair thinning. So that's kind of how I got to it.
Yeah. And I even would add on that one, once you do that preliminary observation and you go down that line of thinking, Bianca just mentioned, we have resources, right, where we can say, let me see if I can get at some market data just to see, maybe I'm able to see what the hair accessories market looks like. And maybe I'm able to drill down, not always, right? You're not always able to access it without paying, but it might also be worth it to see if you can get some preliminary data, sales information or market information on that segment of the category. Usually you can get a high level version of that just to give you like a better sense, like that one category is going to be different for another. An iPhone is going to be different than sales of soda, right? Like phone sales versus sales of soda they're going to be different. The players are going to be different. So getting at this information, even your suggestion around like, okay, you were going to the store, you were going to the salon and seeing for yourself the different types of styles people have. Do similarly, I'm sure you went to the store and said, well, what options are they currently using? And you saw the 4 or 5 different or multiple brands. You looked at what is Walmart offering? What can I get on Amazon, and say, okay, how can I make something better, different, or put a brand on that people want to buy from me? Talk to us about that part.
Yeah, that's funny you said that, because I did go to all the stores. And I actually was sitting in a salon chair asking my hairstylist at the time, how do I take care of this? Like, I'm wearing hair extensions now because I sell hair extensions, but I have no clue how to take care of them. And one of her answers was I needed to wear a bonnet. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'm going to go get me a bonnet. So I go and get a bonnet. And I literally just kind of twist my hair and put it on. And I go to sleep, wake up, my curls are ruined, my hair ends are bent, and it just doesn't look like how I imagined it would look. Right. So I would have to literally go back and fix my hair. And that, like I said, that's how I learned how to curl, because I didn't know how to curl hair either. So from there, I went back to the salon. I told her, like, hey, I bought the bonnet, but I wasn't looking that good the next day. My hair didn't last. She's like, oh, you need a bigger one. So I was like, oh yeah, that's logical. I need a bigger bonnet. Same problem, because they all were out instead of down. So I did the same thing, same problem. So I was like, look, Bianca, it don't waste any more money. Just use the internet, girl. You live in the age of the internet. Use the internet. So I searched for a long satin bonnet, exact words, nothing. This was I don't even think Amazon was the Amazon that it is. So this is 11 years ago. Wow. So I'm thinking long satin bonnet, nothing out there at all.
I believe that completely. 11 years ago.
No. So I ended up saying, I guess I need to invent this. And then that jump started the idea and the journey.
So as you did that, I'm sure on the business end, when you're creating a product from scratch, and this is something I felt like it's really, unique to you, how did you go about the legal piece of it? We know as part of your story, you found a seamstress, you found a manufacturer, and we can definitely talk about that so that folks building something, making something outside of themselves know some of these steps as well. We talk about that a lot here, but your product is different. So it'll be good to cover that. the trademark piece. How do you secure your idea? Talk to us about that piece, and then we could get into like how you did, how you created the product from scratch once you had the idea.
Yeah, so the trademark was one of the first things that happened. And with that, just found a trademark attorney online. Now you can easily find a trademark attorney on Instagram by typing trademark attorney. There's a lot available. Sure. But at that time, I literally had to dig because one moment I got kind of scammed, but this was on an entirely different business. Like he really wasn't a trademark attorney, but I mean, he looked legitimate. So I had to hire someone to get me out of that. But online, I found a trademark attorney, got trademarked, which was good. And then the second thing was I knew that I had an idea that was very unique. So I had like a design feature that was unique. So honestly, when you have something that's more design oriented or any form of engineering, get a patent. So I went to the process of going through the patent application. And to be very honest, I'm still in the patent application.
It's a long time.
It is a long time. Yeah. It is so long, but I went to patent pending. I figured out how to do patent pending myself. So I was like, well, at least I can do a patent pending that can kind of protect me for a year. And within that time, I used that time to find a patent attorney. So I was still working in corporate and I was still having clients in corporate. So I honestly would befriend my clients a little bit, like a friendly befriend, you know, just casual conversation. They ask you, how's your day? Oh, it's going great. I'm actually looking for an attorney. Do you know anyone? So just kind of in conversation, I was introduced to my first attorney was from my client. He had some things in the works and he worked with her when it came to patents, and that kind of started the patent process.
What are some watch outs, considerations for someone new to the patent process? What would you say now that you've been in it like over 10 years in a way, or part of the process? You told us you made some mistakes in it. Talk to us about how to maybe avoid some of the pitfalls you experienced because you had to go through it first.
Yeah, I think because I'm actually on my second patent attorney, so I had to unfortunately leave this first. I would think interview the attorney and ask them about their track record of success. How invested are they in their clients? Because I think that was something that I didn't think about, was how invested are they? So when they get action items, are they replying correctly? And I would even say this, when you are explaining your product, please be clear, because my product was actually documented incorrectly. Like how I explained it to her and I showed her videos, she saw the website, she clearly made it make sense, like she got it, but she wrote it wrong. So what was submitted, I was like, that's not the function, that's not the functionality. And then the sketch wasn't all the way accurate either. So when you submit it, it's gone, it's gone. So I would just make sure there's a clear understanding of what they drafted for you as far as the functionality and design. Make sure you look at the sketch, accurately ask questions if it's incorrect or you don't know before they submit, because once it's on file, and you can't do anything about it without bringing in someone else to edit it. And that's usually another attorney, or really just more money that you have to spend for them to edit a file and resubmit.
Yeah. No, that's a big one. And I think, but basically what you're saying is you're just so much more informed this time around. And added with the fact that there are more trusted professionals, very visible. And you also have those right questions to ask. Have you actually gotten someone's patent approved? You know, and what is that time frame? I'm sure it varies from product to product. I know right now there is a lot of delay because of COVID on multiple things, those patents being one of them, but it's important to start that process. You mentioned you did that, but you're also using patent pending. So this is something, talk to us about the process. This is something you could use until you have your full patent itself. You can use patent pending to show you're in the process. You're
in the process, right? Absolutely. So just doing that. Also, I like to use patent pending on my packaging, mention it on your website so that they know that this idea is in the process to being completely protected. So of course, having the full patent is a lot better than just having patent pending, but patent pending is something that you can utilize to show that this is actually in the process of going through a patent review and being approved. So use it to your advantage. It's a long process, but it's worth it when it finally happens.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip for everybody here. So now let's get into you know, you had the idea. Did you try to sew it yourself ever at the beginning, or you went straight to the seamstress?
Yeah, I did. So a seamstress did pretty much the prototype of what the design was to be. So it wasn't the perfect one. And honestly, it wasn't even the material that it is now. It was literally just like some little see-through flimsy material, but the body of it, the skeleton and functionality was exactly well, the initial exactly model of what it should be. And then when I found a manufacturer, they actually tightened it up and made it a lot better and put a bow on top of it. So just a local seamstress that could make it happen. And it was drawn on paper, like regular printing copy paper, nothing extravagant at all. But very blessed that she was actually able to grasp some of the concepts so that I could make it easier to show to an actual manufacturer.
Yeah. When you went to the manufacturer, did you have to go through another country, or were you able to find somewhere local or somewhere domestic?
No, it actually was in the States. So I went to Cosmoprof. It is a North American, actually it's a global trade show for beauty, but I went to the North American, I guess, version of it.
Yeah.
And it is in Las Vegas. It still is in Las Vegas. It's in the summer, but I went there. I only had one prototype. So I went with the mindset, I'm going to find somebody to make
the one
this.
the seamstress made.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Wow.
You know, them prayers was deep.
They were deep. Yes.
I was praying so hard. Like if faith was a person.
It was you. It actually was you.
It was me.
I was the prototype.
The one. And because the problem that I kept running into with other manufacturers was the actual snap that's on the product. Most people that create, let's just say, sleepwear or hair accessories for slumber or shower don't have buttons. Like they don't do buttons.
Right.
They just couldn't do it. And I couldn't find someone that could do the actual snap and also do the satin. So when I went across, I had my business card, and that just showed that I was legitimate. For some reason, business card to mean like you're legitimate. But anyway, I had a business card. And I just kept going around showing them. They're like, I think we can do it. We can take it. I was like, no, because I only have one.
Take it. Right.
No, you can't take this one because you're not completely sure. And I don't know if I'm going to hear from you. So I did all of that. And then around, I don't know, I was there about 2 hours. I found another supplier that had a lot of different stuff that related to, I felt, my industry in my head. So I said, hey, do you all do like any like private accounts? Do you all manufacture pieces for other businesses? They say, yeah, we do. So they said, oh, our COO is here. How about you talk to him? So I talked to him and I showed him the one the seamstress gave me. He was like, oh yeah, we absolutely can make it. I said, do you have something that can do this like snap? He's like, yeah, because look, we have this. He was showing me all these different classes. We have this class on here and this on here. Yeah, we can make it. We're based in the States, but we would have to take this.
Ooh.
I was
Did you feel like someone trying to take your baby? You're like, I'm not leaving this hospital without my child.
Yes. Because I didn't have anything, like that was my only one. So I was like, I came here on a mission, and I just really said a prayer. I don't know what my prayer was. I can't remember anymore, but I just really had faith that he would return it. Yeah. And I gave it
to the other people that had asked for it too.
Yeah, I just had faith that he would give it back to me.
Yeah.
So I gave it to him, and I just was like, okay, this is my only one.
Wow.
Let's see. So I gave it to him, and then I left, obviously flew back home to Atlanta, and I didn't hear anything for like 3 weeks. I was like,
you were scared then. You're like, he's going to take my idea, rip it off.
Yes, I was so scared.
I don't know.
No NDA. What NDA? Nothing.
Oh,
we eventually got to that point, but
yeah.
One of his, I don't know if she was associates or she was just his assistant or helping. She was like, hi, Bianca, your actual prototype is ready. And I was like, she's like, where do we working on it? Yeah, they were working on it for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And they were like, where can we send your original back and also send you what we have?
Praise the Lord.
But amen.
And actually 3 weeks is not bad.
When you don't have what you feel like you
need. Right. I mean, without the communication, then it's like, oh.
Yeah, it was nothing. I didn't hear from him. Nothing. nothing. And they mailed it to me. It was a great start. So we ended up making some adjustments here and there, and then they finally nailed it. And then they became a
Wow.
manufacturer.
I'm
Oh
so
my God.
happy to hear that. I mean, I
you.
feel for you hearing the story. I'm on the edge with you. I'm like, is this gonna end really bad or what?
Right. Yeah, I guess it could be a cliffhanger. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Okay, we're so happy for you. But I'm curious. So you went to Cosmoprof. Tell us
yep.
more about that experience, and even what made you say, let me go there, thinking that like you could
Mhm.
have results out of it. So talk to us about that.
Yeah.
And
So
who is it for?
it is for beauty professionals or any, just if you're in the beauty industry. When I say beauty, skincare, wellness,
Mhm.
holistic, you can do, I wouldn't say it's not that much for hair, but everything else besides that. So if you're going
Yeah.
to your favorite retailer, you go to the beauty aisle, it helps you with all those things, and except for hair extensions.
Mhm.
So I actually got introduced to there through a hairstylist friend. I think it was Kellen. It's a Kellen Derrick is his name on Instagram. I believe he was the one that told me about Casa Prof because he came with me. We went together.
Oh, okay.
But I can't, I think I was so long ago, but that's really where I decided that I was going to do a start. I did some research, read online. It seemed like it might be a viable solution, and I knew I wasn't going to go across seas. So why not start here? So that's kind of how I got there. And when I went there, I saw a ton of manufacturers, ton of private label. And this was way before COVID was even a thought or even born. So it was very crazy.
Packed.
It was
Yeah.
packed. It was packed, jam-packed, huge. So there were so many different opportunities to do whatever you want in beauty, wellness, skincare, cosmetics, and so forth. So that's
Had
how I
you, yeah, had you reached out to any of them by like email or anything before, or you were like sort of banking on, I'm gonna just kind of meet all of them at once and figure out who is who and then narrow it down from there, just kind of get to meet people and learn the contacts? Is that what your thought was?
So I didn't reach out to anyone prior. They had like a booklet, like most trade shows, like who's here. And I did a little bit of research based off of the names, but even like if you see a name, or like they might not even sell what you think they sell. So I did a few research, circled, made myself a map. So I kind of had a game plan, but I didn't reach out to them prior, and I didn't know if they could do what I needed. So that I really was shooting in the dark.
Yeah. So are you still working with the same manufacturer now who you met there?
I
That's
am.
excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving it. They're definitely like professional and high quality. Like I can bet on them to know that they're going to deliver a very good quality product consistently. That was always a concern for me.
Yeah. So having been in this manufacturing space for several years now, what would you say are some keys to having a good relationship? Like yours was enduring, yours continues to be enduring with this one. How do you foster this type of relationship and partnership with a manufacturing firm so that they are invested and responsive to you? What does that look like for you as over the years as you built that relationship?
I definitely think just being honest on where you want to go and where your vision is. Be flexible on price, because price changes. Like the price that I was paying is not the same price I'm paying now. So just understand that they're operating as a business. So that might mean, do you need to go up on your cost because your manufacturer did, or can you sustain? I just think just being open and direct on where you're going. Like sometimes the conversations can get a little not heated, but spicy via email, because I know exactly where I want to go, and they can only do certain capabilities, or they can't do it at all. So I just think it's just a give and take. Like I like my manufacturer a lot. I want to stay working with them, but I also know if there's anything that they can't do, I need to be open to having, a secondary option as well. And I not nervous to let them know that I had to kind of seek other options on certain things. So just be very honest. They'll try to accommodate if they can. So
yeah, like any relation, it's professional at the end of the day. So it is still a business, even though you like them, you're still saying, I got to do what's best for the business.
absolutely.
Got it. So talk to us about milestones. What are you proud of that you've done, that you've accomplished in the business, that the business has accomplished? Talk to us about some of those exciting things that you just look at, whether they're small or big, just that they're meaningful. What are those
The
meaningful
most
milestones?
meaningful is being at Target. So this product
Yes.
is sold online at Target and also in the Target app. That is very, very new. That just happened this past October. So launching there is incredible. I love working
So
with.
September. So you've been October, November, December, January, February, about 5 months now.
Yeah, so October 23rd was when we launched at Target, and
4
totally,
months. Okay.
yeah, love partnering with them. So that was such a huge moment for me because this idea started literally, well, outside of me sitting in a salon, I was working on it in my apartment in Atlanta.
Right.
And I worked in corporate. I never wore any hair extensions. I'm not a popular person. I didn't have to like pay to play. It literally just came off of creating something that's innovative, having a really incredible, compelling story about it, and then working with a major retailer that sees, oh, you onto something. And I think our guests would really enjoy that. And then them walking me through that process. So that would be the hugest milestone that I love. And then I think the second is just seeing press about this product in Essence and Cosmopolitan and Elle magazine. Like they absolutely are fans of what is created from this Black woman in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes. You know what I love too about this story is, you know, in the past, you know, and this still is the case, you know, we are such big consumers of the beauty category, the hair care category. And I just love that more of us are getting our share across the category. So this is a support product, right? This is not the shampoo and others. And those things are great too. But like, you're also saying, hey, I can get into another category where we're huge consumers of it. I don't really know any Black woman that doesn't wear hair, you know, protection on her hair, whether it's a pillowcase that's silk and some type of bonnet, scarf, something. She's wearing something. Absolutely. And men as well, to your point, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely a growing category. And I love how you said that, because now that I think about it, I don't see that many emerging newbies to the game coming into that category, like hair care, as far as like shampoos, conditioners. Oh yeah.
Yes, we're there wearing makeup, but you know, you're amongst the first people. There's like Felicia Leatherwood in the brush space. There's the cosmology, the other brush. There's there's, you know, Sassy Hair Caps there. You're really one of the few, and definitely amongst the first in a retail setting, a mass retail setting with Target. That's wild.
Thank you.
That's wild. Congratulations. That's a really big one.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited and grateful for it. It is one of the most monumental moments of my life. And I don't know, it's just, I'm a type of person that cries later. So I haven't cried yet.
You haven't cried yet?
No.
But well, honey, you're going to be expanding some more. And so you'll have your tears will come when you really catch this glimpse of what you have accomplished, because you're running so fast, you're getting it all done. But trust, it's very inspiring. And that's why I was so thrilled to have you on here, because I see you working and you're helping people and you're doing your own thing. And I'm like, she's amazing. Yeah. Who is this Bianca? I need to talk to her.
I want to help 100 women launch and scale in beauty. So that's my personal mission and goal.
So is that for 2022, or is that like just you're going to do this until you can't stop?
That's funny, because yesterday I was thinking about that. I was like, do I want to do that within this year? Do I want to do that within the next 2 years? I haven't put my year on it, but I know.
Let us know.
I'm going to have a year. Maybe it's within the next 2 years, but I definitely am on a mission to help 100 women. So that's my goal. We'll see.
All right. We're here for it. So something else about your story is really cool. Well, one, I saw you today with a meeting talking about Target, right? You know, they seem to be a really good partner for you and really helping to make this your smooth entry, helping to make this a smooth entry there. I saw you today having a meeting with this team and doing your own development, getting advisement from them or support. And then you followed up with another development meeting, I don't know, with Shopify or something. Talk to us about what your days are looking like, what support you're getting, what resources you're doing, how you're leveling up so you can help others. Tell us a little bit about that. We're always curious, what are the other entrepreneurs doing to be as amazing as they are?
Yeah. So I am a learner. I'm a professional learner. So
Mhm.
I actively like to listen to podcasts about various topics. I like to join a variety of groups. Like I'm not scared to pay to be coached because I
Yeah.
know that I don't know everything. So I like to be coached on my weaknesses so that I can one, be better for myself, but also I can coach and teach the women that actually follow me and actually are a part of any program that I have.
Right.
So my day to day, I get up at 6 a.m.
Mhm.
every day, except for Fridays. And I start my day at the gym at 7 a.m.,
Okay.
7 to about 8. I make it home about 8:45, have breakfast. And then really the top half of my day is for me. So like target meetings, any calls, they don't typically start until 10:30,
Mhm.
11 o'clock. So between that time, I'm doing something personal that I want to do. Like today I bought some baskets to put candles in. Like that was my me time today. And I
Mhm.
loved it. And
Yes.
I'm a candle addict. So if you sell candles,
Mm.
let me see your
Send
site.
them her way.
I'm so into candles. But also I actually have a coach. So I have 2 business coaches that help me in a variety of ways when it comes to thinking outside of the box on marketing. So actually, when I was working in college, I actually had an internship at Coca-Cola headquarters in their technology sector. So their global IT.
Mhm.
And the most impactful moment of my life was working for, I'm gonna say her name because I hope one day she can hear this. So
Yes.
she can hear this.
Yes. We
Her
got to
name is
find her on LinkedIn and be like,
I need
listen.
to take her out for a drink.
Wow.
She told me her name is Tamika Harper. She
Okay.
at that time was a project manager at the global information technology of Coca-Cola, the brand. So she was big
Wow.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me that I needed to think more outside the box. Like I was her intern.
Mm-hmm.
Very sensitive, babe. Like I'm a sensitive person. If I really want to do well, I'm sensitive to you. So I was so sensitive to that I actually went into a room and called my older sister and was like kind of crying. And I was like, she says I need to think outside the box. I do everything she says. What is a box? Like, what does that mean? I am like 19 years old, 20 years old, always been like the star student, that person.
Mm-hmm.
And she just told me, you got to just be more creative. And I'm like, but I am. I'm doing everything she says. But that lit so much fire underneath me. I never forgot about stepping outside the box and what that meant. So as I grew into this business, I always kept that in my head. What can I do outside the box to grow? And because of that, was able to build a successful hair brand as a nobody, really didn't know nobody. And then launch with my first major retailer with no experience on what that looked like and how to even start that conversation and what a buyer looked for. But it was that thinking outside the box and working with the right people that allowed me to get in this direction. So hence why I'm always on a call in a meeting. It's just always development for me because, if it's a development for me, that means the people that I coach, people that I help is a development for them. I know that they can't make the investment level that I can make because I was once that person, like, I'm not paying that much. I'll stick to YouTube or a book.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I wanted to be on the fast track, I needed to invest in someone that already did it so they can tell me quickly what I can do. But I know it took a lot to get there. That wasn't initial. Before that, I was trial and error, lost some money, didn't understand. But I don't want that to happen, especially with Black women in general. Nothing against my guys, but I am so pro woman. Like I'm a girl's girl. And my goal is to make sure they don't go through the things that I go through and that they learn what I'm learning now without having to sacrifice thousands of dollars in order to understand.
We love that. And thank you for being so generous with your experience and turning that into something actionable and coachable for everybody. Like people can learn from what you're doing. If you follow Bianca, which you totally should do, she's always dropping gems. She's showing you packaging. She's talking about what she's seeing. And it's really, I'm that type of person too. I love to have those chats about insights. And we're product geeks, so if you're a product nerd, you love marketing, branding, want to learn more, Bianca is a great person to follow because she has those insights. Wanted to find out, so this Sassy Caps itself, it was conceived about 11 years ago, but you've sort of formalized it in the past, maybe going on 6 years. Is that what it is?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is accurate.
Awesome. With that, you've evolved and iterated what the product is, where it's been sold. Talk to us about some of those iterations, as well as what you were doing at the beginning, in the middle, and now, and from a channel strategy standpoint.
Mhm. So started out just straight direct to consumer on my website. And I started the wrong way. I started on WordPress, and that is not the way to start.
Oh,
But I didn't know any better. I actually leaned on a web designer to make it happen. And I would honestly say maybe that's the best that she knew. So, because I didn't know any better, I'm thinking that that's the best that she knew. Then I learned about Shopify. So I transitioned over to Shopify years later. So I've always been direct to consumer. And now this is where I've just now am going into like that mass retail space. Before that, I was doing pop-up shops. I was doing Shopify. That's pretty much where I started and where it stopped. But now that, I have such a great partnership with Target, it's opening up opportunities and conversations for other retailers. And that's something that I want to like share. Like when you can get in the door of one retailer, it makes it so much easier to go to another retailer or someone that works with another retailer to tell them, hey, this is who's believing in me right now. And this is why I think you should believe in me too. It just makes a conversation easier to have and for them to say, well, if they believe in you, they see something. Let's see what's going on here. Let's learn a little bit more. So I think it gets easier once you get just one yes. Really helps.
No, that's a great point. Thank you for noting that. Like, and that really comes down to being able to focus, right? You can say, which retailer do I think is really where my consumer is? Let me focus the most of my energy and resources there. Then let me leverage that to try to get into the other places where they are, that's all about focus.
Absolutely.
Talk to us about your next frontier. So you just had, 4 months ago, you have this big opportunity. You're now available on Target.com, on the website itself, on the app. Talk to us about what we can expect.
So I actually have four new products that I am working on right now. I'm currently testing them out. One of them is going to be a shower cap, and it's amazing. I feel like it's going to be better than my original, like what I'm known to have. It's satin on the inside. It's awesome. It is awesome.
I believe you, because I literally have one of the shower caps you're talking about that looks like a chef's hat, because that's what's on Amazon, and it's ridiculous actually. So yeah, you can come on with that. I will test that out for you.
Yes. Okay, cool.
We need this in our lives.
Oh, definitely. I need some testers anyway, because I haven't released them to the public yet, but I have a shower cap coming out. I have an XL, so an extended version for anyone that needs a little bit more length and support. I'm coming up with something for the little ones. You're surprised how many people really want stuff for their children like that. Yeah. And I also have a men's version that I am, there's only one, it's 2 different prototypes. There's only one I like. So I'm going to be doing something for the gentlemen as well that I want to test out. So
you're not slowing down anytime soon. You're growing the portfolio.
Yeah, I'm growing the portfolio, y'all. We're growing. Yeah, I'm trying. So that's really what I have coming up with that I'm really looking forward.
And you have your hands very full, because sustaining Target is its own full-time job too. You know, it's a great, alive and active platform. So yeah, you will have a lot of fun with continuing to grow that and make sure people know where you are.
Thank you.
So we talked a lot about some advice, given your experiences. Was there any that you can think of that you would love to impress on the Black on Shelf community? Maybe something of recent experience or something that you always remind yourself of. Tell us any advice or lessons or just thought consideration that you think is important you'd want to tell someone
that wants to be on shelf.
Yes.
Just in general.
On shelf, entrepreneurship, part of the journey, or being on shelf.
Yeah, definitely. So when I started working and partnering with Target, one of the questions that they asked me was, what was my North Star? And really what that meant is, where do you see this going? And I always think like a lot of us live in present, like, presently I'm just doing this, I'm just doing that. But when you're entering into like the e-commerce space, especially when you want to grow into retailers, your vision can be the way that they say yes to you. they can be like, oh, we definitely can see how that makes sense based on who our customer is and what they're asking for and what they're looking for. So I would just say, plan out your vision for the next 5 to 10 years. Like, where do you want to go? What's your direction? And then also create products that fill a gap that you definitely know is not there, or you can make it better. Because typically when it came to just anything like major retailers, they're going to measure you against what they already have. So it's not enough to just say, well, they have this on shelf, I know I can get there. They might have had that on shelf when they didn't have any other options. So now that they have it, how can you make it better, or how can you improve basically something that is not there? So do your homework on what they have, go into their stores, also go into their like website, because what they have on their website might not be what they have in store. What they have in store might not be on their website. So just really do your homework on, am I filling in a need and a gap? And then also, where do I see this going? Is this something just for now because I want to do it? Or do I seriously see myself growing and seeing this business expanding within the next 5 to 10 years? If so, how and what does that look like?
Yeah. One thing I didn't ask that I think the community would be interested in, you had this, you had a robust corporate career. At what point did you go full-time, if you did have to at all? What did that progression look like? Are you full-time now?
I am full-time.
Okay, you are full-time.
I literally, so I didn't even share this, but I ended up leaving corporate. I worked full-time in my business, but this was just hair extensions.
When you were doing the extensions, not yet the, okay.
I would not yet this full-time, but then I just like, I was young. So I was like, I want to do something. I want to go back to work. So I literally went and became a teacher. I went back and became certified in education, high school, engineering, and business education. And I went and taught for 7 years while I was running my businesses. And I literally just stopped that this past May.
Oh, wow. So why teaching after working in tech?
I think I've always naturally been a teacher, but I just knew that I needed to start in technology, and I wanted to start there. And then after I started to see some traction and what I needed to do happen, I was like, let me go after my passion, which is education, which is why now I coach as well. But I naturally am a teacher, so I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you were able to stay in for a good long time because you did find a field that where you had some flexibility, you're already really good at it as well. And it's something that you were able to still put in your time with the business.
Yeah, so I make sure I chose a job that I could still get off and still have part of my day. So I was done with my day at 2 p.m. So that business, you can, from 2 to 6, I can still, if I stay focused, I can finish it all very quickly and still have time for dinner, bed, and so forth. So I just made sure I chose a job that was really flexible, where I got, holidays off, but also it ended early and we had summers off. So it just made sense. And I think it really works as an entrepreneur. If you are an educator or a teacher, it helps. It makes it easier. There's so many entrepreneurs in the education space that are teachers.
Teachers are cretive. They know how to communicate. So I mean, I help other teachers. I hope you're listening. If you're interested, if you've been dreaming up something, you don't have to leave your job. In fact, many times, just as women, as millennials in general, life is expensive. You don't always have to just go right away. I think you could focus more and more. And if you care about it, you'll chase it even while you're working. You'll start to put away 2, 3, 4 hours. It'll grow. And, your life will tell you when you need to shake it. Because at some point you did in May, as you said, you did go full time because you reached some type of inflection point where you're like, okay, it's time.
Yep.
It's time. All right. Tell us what it means to you to be Black on shelf. You're on the shelves of Target and some other stores, but namely, that's a big one that you just got into. What does that mean for you?
Oh man, that means I'm on the right path. I love partnering with the retailers that see something in new emerging brands, and that's a part of their mission, is to support them. So it is a surreal process, because if you would have asked the me that was crying in my internship because I wasn't thinking outside the box that I would create something that a major retailer would be like, we want to take you on, I would be like, you're lying. So it feels so good to know that like Black on Shelf is becoming a part of their actual mission. Like it's
Yeah.
so many major opportunities for Black people that we need to take advantage of. And the fact is, like, I'm one of them. I don't know if this opportunity would have presented itself maybe 5 years ago when I first started this idea. Maybe it wasn't part of their objectives, or it just wasn't thought of at the time, and that's okay. That, I mean, that's you got to measure growth somewhere. So now that it's here, it's surreal to be a part of it. It's amazing. They're a great retailer group of people, teams. They're awesome to be partners for you, and just to be a Black individual just shows what's possible. Because I see so many things even above me that I'm like, wow, you're doing it. You're Black, you a woman, or you a man. It's incredible. It's incredible to be a part of the conversation, to be in the rooms. And now my next step and part of my mission is to help bring other people along with me.
Yeah, 100 people.
100.
Yes. So actually, before we close, I definitely want you to share with people what that looks like, where they can follow you and be a part of that mission. Definitely, if you're looking to be in beauty or get on shelf, Bianca is another person that's like she has a program to help, and like a little bit of an accelerator, and taking it from the sense of, I'm an entrepreneur who got my product here. Let me help you, let me mentor you as well. That's a really great step. If you feel alone in your journey of building a brand, there's these communities, but if you feel alone in just kind of the details of what's going on or the process, this is a great program to put yourself in and to consider, to get that access and help that you're looking for. Talk to us more about that.
Absolutely. So obviously, let's start with the Sassy Hair Cap Instagram. It is Sassy Hair Cap. I actually love my page. Yeah. I think it's so fun and very self-care, very humorous. Because satin caps and sleepwear, that can get a little dry. But I think my page is pretty entertaining after a while. So Sassy Hair Cap is the Instagram, but on the other side of that, I am a coach and also a consultant to beauty, wellness, makeup, cosmetics, hair extensions, hair care brands. And that Instagram is called Bianca Builds Brands.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does. As you can see, she builds brands. She's very serious about it. So join her programming, follow her page. Like I mentioned, you can learn a lot there. And, this is someone saying, reach out. This is someone saying, I'm here for those people looking to be in those segments and categories. This is someone saying, I'm there, and I'm not going to let y'all go behind. I'm not going to keep all the information to myself. So I love that you're so open and generous with your support of others. And that's totally going to keep coming back to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we will support you hardcore in Target, and make sure you stay there, so these new lines coming up can get all the facings that you're looking for. We wishing you all the best, and so proud of all the work that you've already done.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate that.